Well, to our conversation tonight, everyone. Yesterday on this program, we had the Minister of Labor, Senator Chris Ngige, and he spoke on the conduct of the Anambra APC governorship primary, which he described as fraudulent. Senator Andy Uba emerged the All Progressives Congress candidate in the Anambra governorship race. The former federal lawmaker emerged winner of the exercise chaired by the governor of Ogun State, Dike Abiodun. 7 aspirants of the All Progressives Congress insist that no governorship primary election took place in Anambra State on Saturday, the 26th of June, 2021. Senator Chris Ngige on the program yesterday raised alarm about the exercise, and tonight, let's hear from the camp of Senator Andy Uba. We invited Senator Andy Uba, but we've been told that due to some engagement and logistics, he's not able to make it down to the studio. But we have Honorable Fort Dike, a former member of the House of Representatives and who is also an ally of Senator Andy Uba, and also within that camp is here tonight to give us their own side, whether or not primary election held in Anambra State in the APC. Honorable, thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you very much.
Senator Chris Ngige said categorically that there was no primary in Anambra State as far as the APC was concerned. Is that true?
Inasmuch as I respect Senator Dr. Chris Ngige, I do not agree with him. Definitely elections held in Anambra on Saturday. But everybody is entitled to his opinion. He is entitled to his. And we that participated in the election are also entitled to our own views. But I want you to note that this is not a matter of personal opinion. It is a matter of processes. There was an election scheduled by the APC. There are institutions of government like INEC and institutions of the party that oversee these activities, right from when you give your intention to hold a party primaries. These processes took place properly. A day before the election, a meeting was called of stakeholders and the aspirants, not only the aspirants, stakeholders of the party, during which the method of doing the primaries the next day was discussed. And aspirants, all aspirants made inputs. One person in particular complained that they wanted to also make inputs, bring up ward returning officers for the process. And they were granted. I think each of them was asked to bring 30. And it was this amendment of accommodating their inputs and their representatives in the process that even made the election to start a little late the next day. The elections held.
So you're saying that the election held on Sunday?
No, they held on Saturday. There was a stakeholders meeting on Friday, as is usually the case where you need to have primary election.
Were you at that stakeholders meeting?
Yes, I was.
Did you hear the objections from someone like Senator Ngige about the modality and the manner in which the election was going to be conducted?
How would everybody can make an objection? But the party went through a process to reach the direct primaries method. But you may be aware that what we have in the APC all over the country is caretaker committees. The main election committees have been dissolved, and indirect primaries relies on authentic, genuine party officials because most of the delegates come from party.
Okay.
So in the situation where you have caretaker committees, the direct primaries was considered all right. And with all due respect, Ngige has been part of the process of the party. He is a leader. This decision was taken by the national executive. The people mandated to take such a decision. They put the thing in place. That Friday was to execute it the next day. So that wouldn't normally, ordinarily, rationally be a platform to raise an objection.
All right, let's take a breather. But when we come back, there are other issues Senator Ngige raised. Not only him, other aspirants like John Bosco, Judge Monhalu, and the rest, they raised objection about this process. I'd like you to answer to those issues, and perhaps maybe you can speak the mind of Senator Anambra on this matter. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation over some of the controversies that trailed the APC governorship primary in Anambra State. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on Politics Today on Channels Television. So we've been speaking about the Anambra governorship race and the issues that have trailed the primaries. But there was a major story in the land today, and that is the rearrest of the IPOB, self-acclaimed leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. I like to get, since you're from the southeast region of the country, where we've seen these kind of agitations being led by Nnamdi Kanu, let me get your take on the rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu, the extradition to the country, and the decision to start his trial again.
Well, as I also said, people have their individual opinions and approaches to issues. Some may want, if their section of the country is marginalized, to take certain approaches. Others may also prefer other methods. So probably what is happening in the Southeast is that probably most of the younger people who probably did not participate in the first war, they may see the type of agitation of Nnamdi Kanu as the best approach to our perceived marginalization of the Southeast. Others too, who may be older or who also have a very different way of thinking, may be thinking that other approaches may even be more effective. I would like to leave it at that.
Okay, let me get back to the conversation on the Anambra governorship primary of the APC. So let me ask you a few quick questions. One is, what time was allotted in the guideline of the party for the exercise to commence?
Thank you very much. This ordinarily, normally, the exercise should have started early.
No. What,
like
what
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. And it was supposed to end what time?
When all the people who have been accredited finish. But it should have ended latest by 3 p.m.
Okay. But when did it start effectively in most of the centers?
Thank you. It started a little late. But there was a reason caused by the aspirants themselves. Because at the meeting the previous day, most of them felt that they must make input, that the whole list of ward returning officers must be dropped, must be rearranged to accommodate their own representatives. And this was an election for the next day. So was it a bad thing that the committee now bent backwards to accommodate? They were asked to bring 30 people. And it was amending the list of ward people who were to be ward returning officers to accommodate the interests of every aspirant that caused the delay of the election the next day. So if they had gone ahead with the previous list, there wouldn't have been delay. But these people wanted an input, and the committee bent backwards to accommodate them.
But was it right in the sense that if some stakeholders and aspirants say, these materials are arriving late, and because of the security situation, postpone it to a certain date, was it right for the committee to have gone ahead, even with all of these agitation?
Of course, you know that I want you to have something at the back of your mind, and it's very, very important. I want you to mention one election in Nigeria, be it primary election or general election, where people who lost did not raise objection one way or the other.
But
It is a
But these
culture.
people raised the objection even before the election started.
No. How can they raise a objection when...
But they did a press conference earlier in the day on Saturday to say that the exercise should be postponed because materials had not arrived in most of the centers.
Please, in which elections that have been scheduled, just because a little delay caused by your request, how many times have such elections been?
Was that a little delay? An exercise that is supposed to end at 4 p.m. starts at 4 p.m.
No. It depends on the location.
At your location, when did it start?
At my location, maybe around 2 p.m.
Okay, so that does not look like a little delay.
No, because
several hours of delay.
No. It is not what legitimizes a process. It is not when it is done, but it is whether people participated in it properly.
So,
In every election we have had in this country, let us be realistic because we tend to hold something to have excuses. In many elections you have had in this country, did they start exactly the time they were meant to start? There are always logistics problems. And in this case, caused by the aspirants themselves, who made a request for them to be accommodated. And the committee bent backwards. And even the committee had to force to start, because at the point of starting, as I understand, 2 aspirants did not even bring the required 30 representatives. So it was better to start a little late, but accommodate the interest of everybody. But what the committee has done now has turned against what their good intentions. I want you to remember, I want you to note that always in the Anambra election, there is somebody they suspect that will maneuver the process. But the issues are very clear. There was reason to choose direct primaries in Anambra State. Let's look at it, and it is true. Secondly, direct primaries requires a lot of efforts to register many party members, because it is an issue of who is able to register more loyal party members to participate in the process. The processes were done, the registration was done. If you didn't do enough effort in registering and I do more party members, do you expect to win me? Look at the statistics of the membership registration. So immediately people begin to realize, oh, this man seems to have registered more. Oh, this man seems to have connections. Oh, this man seems to have more money. They begin to raise objections and they begin to gang up. If you look at that process, you will see that Andy more or less was targeted by other aspirants.
Why is he a target?
He's a target because he seems to be more popular. He seems to put, in this case, he made more efforts in registration process. In this case, they were saying that he was not grassroots. He engaged people who understood grassroots politics to advise him. And in this case, he made efforts to go around the local governments. So if you make the right effort, why won't you win? And I want to tell you, remember what they are putting, the integrity they are putting on the line. I want you to note this. It's not only the integrity, whether Andy won an election, but the entire party that went through a process to select the election committee. The chairman is a governor, secretary is a serving senator. Do you understand?
Do you think that this sort of controversy has tainted the entire primary?
The controversy about primaries has followed every party, not only in Anambra. In this Anambra election, he is following ABGA. He is following PDP. Which party is he not following? It's only party like where one person is only the candidate.
In the case of APC, for example,
yes,
with the emergence of Senator Anambra,
yes,
does your party stand a chance?
Of course, all parties have these controversies, but it is left to the party to do the required work. Every party that conducts primaries, there must be aggrieved persons. They will even go to the extent of going to court. But the party ought to immediately set a machinery to begin to reconcile people. Because out of the candidates, aspirants, only one person must go.
So, but in this sense,
yes,
the
only
issue,
one person must go.
A matter that I would probably need you to clarify is the issue of the materials.
Yes.
Did you get materials? Were there materials for the exercise in your area?
Of course, there were materials. Of course, materials were used to vote.
But did you hear that there were no materials?
That is, what do you expect somebody who is objecting to an election to say? Please, I'm not digressing. I will keep on asking you, which primary election have you conducted in this party, in this country, across all parties, that they did not allege one malpractice or the other? I want you to name one. It is our culture as Nigerians. It is our culture. What is important is that after every primaries, like that has happened now, even the state working committee of the APC in Anambra has begun to appeal to everybody for us to come together and move forward. They have also congratulated Andy Obas, I understand, today. Even an advert put up by their publicity secretary, they have disowned it. And this is what always happens. In fact, this is not as serious as the places where they have gone to court before, where they were even disenfranchised from even doing the election. You noted what happened in the last election.
Yeah.
So this is a normal occurrence in Nigeria. So I appeal to our leader, Senator Ngige. I'm sure he's a very political person. He has understanding. He will eventually, as I know him, he will eventually come to take his rightful position and lead us to victory in Anambra State.
Honorable Fort Dike, a former member of the House of Representatives, of course, speaking in respect of the governorship primary of the APC held on Saturday and some of the controversies, speaking on behalf of Senator Anambra and some of his friends. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you very much.
But that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Okimale. Bye-bye.